I'm Beatrice. I'm a recent graduate from University of Warwick. I studied politics and international studies, and now I'm about to start my law conversion, my GDL, graduate diploma in law, in a week and a half at the University of Law in London in Moorgate. I want to talk about my journey to study law, which sounds kind of like an interview question, but I think it is definitely relevant if you are interested in studying law or want to know what it's like coming from a non-law background. I never wanted to do law until probably August of 2018. So I'd done 2 years of politics, really enjoyed my course. I did an internship with Daniela actually at this food startup in London, and I really enjoyed it. But I think at the end of it, I thought actually I want to work in a more corporate environment, and I want to work in a field that's a bit more academic. So I just thought I would look into law, and my interest has always been environmental policy, so I wanted to do environmental policy masters after uni. But then I had to think, and I just didn't really see where my career could progress. So I just thought I would look at doing environmental law and see what the steps would be for me to do that. And the first thing I did is I googled environmental law in the UK, and this amazing organization called UKELA, UK Environmental Law Association, came up. And then I reached out to their previous student advisor and asked him what I can do to get into this, because I'm really interested, and I didn't know what the first step was, because I didn't really want to work for a law firm in London, which is in Warwick. In Warwick Uni, you look at just little commercial law firms your way, corporate law firms your way. So I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to do something that is specific to environmental law. So I messaged him on Twitter, pretty informal, which maybe I should have sent him an email, but I was just like, I'll just do it. And then he told me, go to this careers evening, which happened in November, and you'll meet loads of people there that are working in environmental law. There's so many different ways in which you can work in environmental law. You can either be a solicitor, barrister, which is the kind of common routes for lawyers, and then work in a commercial law firm, or you can work for an environmental agency. You can work for the government in the legal profession. You can work for charities, NGOs. You can work for Friends of the Earth, Client Earth, which are some of the biggest NGOs that basically employ lawyers. And yeah, it was just a really interesting evening. I'm really glad I went. And then I basically applied to become a student advisor, because the previous student advisor told me that he was stepping down. So I did, and I was successful, which I'm not really sure how. It came as a surprise, because I hadn't even had any work experience in law, in environmental law for that matter. I think one tip from my experience would be that you just have to do it. Even if you think you're not good enough for the role, or if you think you've not got enough experience, spin it to make you seem like the perfect candidate. So, for example, they needed 2 student advisors, and my application, I said, well, I'm coming from a non-law background. I can discuss all the challenges students face when they want to get into environmental law, but they've not even done law. And I just said, in the way that my experience coming from a non-law background and trying to get into environmental law would be beneficial for them if I became their student advisor. And it worked, and I got it. And I think I would credit my whole kind of career progression to this organization. So I think it is quite a niche thing to be interested in environmental law, but maybe if you are, and you actually are interested in maybe just having a look, maybe you're really interested in working for an environmental agency or charity, but you feel like the career progression isn't clear enough, you feel like you don't really know if you can get into it and get stuck into it, and actually even the financial security sometimes is a problem that students face when they want to work in charities. I would definitely say considering environmental law is an amazing opportunity, and it's so relevant nowadays. The world, ending. No, just kidding. But yes, I think that is kind of my journey. I didn't really know I wanted to do law. Then I kind of said, I'll just try it out. I joined this association. I went to the careers evening. I went to other events they hosted. I became advisor for them. So I'm really into the thick of it. I went to the conference they had this year with environmental lawyers. I think if you're interested in a career path and you're not really sure how to approach it, I would just Google it and see if they have any associations, any organizations online, especially with law. It is such a big career path, and a lot of people do it. But if you aren't sure you want to be a commercial lawyer and a corporate lawyer, and you want to do something a bit more niche, I would definitely recommend looking into it. In terms of my top tips, I would just say just, this is so cringy, but just be confident in yourself and your abilities. And even if you think you're the least appropriate candidate for a job and you've got the least amount of experience, which I often did, because, okay, actually I haven't even spoken about vacation schemes, which I should. So one part of getting into law is vacation schemes, which I mean, if you want to get into law, I'm sure you know what that means. It's basically just like, usually like a 2-week internship at a law firm, and at the end there's usually an interview for a training contract. As a non-law student, you should apply in your second year, but I didn't. I applied in my third year only, and having no experience in law, like had no clue what I was doing, because the summer before I'd done a WSI internship, which is much more straightforward. I also recommend WSI, Warwick Summer Internships, if you're in your second year of uni and watching this, or if you're going to your second year of uni, or I think it's even valid for third year of uni, definitely apply. It was so amazing experience. It's paid internship. Yeah, just amazing experience overall. But yeah, for vacation schemes, it's a whole other game. It's so competitive. I remember, I think Warwick especially is really good at having loads of presentation evenings in term 1. So I went to quite a lot of those because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Never done law, never even really considered it until my third year. So yeah, I went to a lot of presentation evenings. I went to a lot of dinners with law firms. They would host them in like Leamington area, and you basically had to like send 500 words about why you wanted to attend this careers dinner, basically. And yeah, they're so valuable, such valuable experiences. I think attending these things is more valuable than doing your research, because law is such a career where you have to network loads and be able to kind of gauge what each firm is about. Each application you do to each law firm should be different, and it should be tailored to what the firm works, like what kind of work they do, what are their values, all that. So yeah, so I applied to like 8 law firms, I'd say. Yeah, each application process is lengthy, so I wouldn't recommend it more than 10. But yeah, obviously, if you apply to like 20, you probably have more of a chance to get a vacation scheme. But at the same time, I do think it's so important to always think about what you want more than how many vacation schemes you get. Like if you only find 5 law firms that are exactly what you want and like do the work that you're interested in, I would only apply to those. So that's what I did. I only applied to law firms that were good at environmental law and had departments in them. Yeah, basically I didn't get anything, got loads of rejections, which is great. Didn't even like make it past to like interview stage for like all of them apart from one. I applied to a bit of a rogue one in Bristol, and I've always been set on London. I feel like a lot of students have, but I just applied to this firm because it was really big on environmental law, one of the biggest in the country, and it just looked really cool and fun and a bit more easygoing than other like law firms in London. Yeah, and I applied, and I was successful. I went to the assessment center and I got it, and I got a vacation scheme, which was great. It was so much fun, absolutely loved it. And then I ended up getting the training contract. So yeah, it was all a really quick process, even though I did apply in like November, and then managed to get my vacation scheme, which was in June, and then found out I got a training contract in August. So it does take a whole year. So if you do want to get into law, you really do need to prepare from like September. Like that is when applications open. They usually close in January for vacation schemes, and I would suggest just getting them in as early as possible, because term 2 and 3 are stressful. So term 1 is the one. But under no means do you have to apply for things when you're in uni. You can always apply for them after you graduate. Like that's what's really nice, I think, about the GDL and the training contract and all that. You can literally apply whenever you want. I think my tip, what I found when I was applying to law firms, is that I'd applied to one that was like huge. I think I applied to like Latham and Watkins or something. That was like an American law firm, which I didn't really like the vibe of it, but it had good environmental law departments. So I was like, why not? My interest in the firm just didn't come across in the application. And then for Burges Salmon, I met one of the representatives of Burges Salmon at the law fair, and she was great, so friendly, so lovely. And I think I just did loads of research about the firm. I was listening to podcasts every day about like, developments in the legal industry. And basically what I would also recommend, sorry I'm all over the place, but what I would really recommend when you're doing applications is to find a topic in the news. I focused on electric vehicles, and then follow it for a few weeks, maybe even a month, and then in most law firm applications they'll have questions stating like, tell us about a news article you've read, and then I would just kind of talk about that. And what's really great is if you can the law firm and talk about the work the law firm has done in that industry. So I was really into electric vehicles. I think it's so cool, such a cool industry. And then basically Burges Salmon has done loads of work on creating infrastructure for electric cars. So I was able to kind of discuss that. And yeah, I think talking about cases from the law firm is really important. And yeah, I was just super interested in the work the firm did, and I think that really came across, which was really good. The reason I got it, like I wasn't surprised when I got rejections from all the other ones, because I just wasn't like as invested in it. And I think what needs to come across a lot is honesty and the fact that you actually do want to work there. Don't just apply for the sake of it, because it's not worth it. I think you just have to be honest to yourself and think, do I think this firm is cool? Do I think this company is cool? Yes, then I'll apply. One more thing is that through UKELA, UK Environmental Law Association, I was able to get in contact with 2 people who work at Burges Salmon. I basically emailed the lady who's like in charge of UKELA admin office lady, and basically I told her I'm looking to apply, and because basically UKELA is a massive community of environmental lawyers, environmental the people that work in environmental agency, people that work in just so many like different types of environmental law, like I said before, NGOs, charities, all that, and it's a massive membership. So I asked her, because I knew Burges Salmon was big on environmental law. I was sure somebody that worked at Burges Salmon would be a member, so I just asked her, do you know if I could get in touch with anyone to ask them for advice on the application process and kind of get more of a vibe of what the firm is like. And I was lucky enough to get in contact with this solicitor at the firm, who was so nice to be able to talk to me on the phone and give me advice about what the firm is like, what his application process was, all that. And I think that really helped me as well. So I don't know if this is tip number 2 or 3, but I think be proactive. Like, don't be scared to ask for help, and don't be scared to reach out to people that are maybe more senior than you, have a lot of things on their hand. Like, people are always happy to help. Students, people who are looking for a job, they're always happy to help, and it doesn't take too much of their time. For example, like sending speculative emails. You're sometimes unsuccessful, but I think it's always worth to ask for help, because in my case, it definitely helped. I don't think I would have gotten it if I wasn't a member of UKELA and if I hadn't asked for help from the solicitor. So yeah, I think what's really important is just being really proactive. If you know you want something, go after it. If you get rejected, like, it is obviously so difficult. We all have to deal with rejections in jobs, but I think first what you have to make clear in your head is, what do I want? And if you just go into the job search and application process kind of like not having a clear idea in your head, it will make it hard. But I think if you have an idea of what you want, what job you see yourself doing, which you can find out by going to careers evening, going to careers fairs, being involved with careers societies if you're still in uni. I think what you have to do first is do just a lot of research on what job you think would be suited to you and you would enjoy, and then go from there. I think that's all from me for now. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions on environmental law, I'm a student advisor for the association, so I'd be more than happy to help. But also just any other questions about getting into law and starting the GDL. I'm starting the GDL in 2 weeks. I'm currently doing the online training that you have to do before. So yeah, I don't know much about the GDL yet, but I will definitely know more in the coming months. Hopefully I'll learn something. So yeah, if you have any questions, just pop me a message. Thank you.